It's the WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. In this segment, my guest in studio is Shelly Tolly with OSF Piecemeal. Shelly, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Ben?
Good. Thanks so much for taking time for me, and it's a privilege to be able to join you on the air for the first time doing this interview. So thanks so much for taking time for me today. Let's just jump into, just to do a really quick, just give us the 30-second overview of Piecemeals just to get us in.
Right. So Piecemeal is a program that provides home-delivered meals to clients that are 60 and above that cannot get out of their home, or they have difficulty cooking, shopping, transportation. Or we have a congregate program. We have a thriving one here in Clinton at the Friendship Center. And that's a place where seniors that can still get out, still have to be 60, but can get out, socialize. So Sue is our site supervisor there. And on Wednesday, she has a salad bar, which go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal. And then what's really cool about the Friendship Center is they do all kinds of activities. And then we provide the lunch, so it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So we have sites like that throughout our 7 counties. We're in Champaign, Piatt, Ford, DeWitt, Livingston, McLean, and I think that's them. There's 7 counties that we're in, and then we serve a lot of people every single day. So last year we served 350,000 meals.
Wow.
To seniors. We serve about an average of 1,345 meals per day.
Mm-hmm.
We served 3,800 clients through our 7 counties last year. And 81% of those people are home delivered people.
Wow.
So people that just can't do it for themselves anymore, but we want to help them age in their home.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of Piecemeal. Either you're going to get the socialization if you can get out, or we're going to help you age in your home as long as you possibly can.
Gotcha.
And then, so here in town, we've got the Friendship Center. In Farmer City, you can go to the Santa Ana Township and you can buy tickets for the Farmer City Cafe. So Patty will be there. She's there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
And she sells tickets in packs of 5 or 10. They're $4 a ticket. So either you do the math. I'm not good with that. And as soon as I said it, it went right out of my head.
So that's why I'm in radio. I'm not a math guy either.
Yeah, I always tell them they don't pay me for my math skills. So anyway, you can go pick up tickets from her. And the cool thing about the restaurant program is they have a menu for Piecemeal. So you can just go in and pick out stuff off the menu. You hand them the ticket. Well, sign your ticket. And then you hand the ticket to the waitress, and that covers it.
Boom.
$4.
Yeah.
You can't get mini meals, a full meal for $4.
Yeah.
So, and that includes a milk as well.
Nice.
So
awesome.
And then, so yeah, that's pretty much the overview. And then if you do need referrals, you can call our secretary, Nikki, at 309-665-5900. And she can make referrals to either one of the HDM coordinators, the home delivered meal coordinators, or she can get you in contact with one of the site supervisors to go to the congregate sites.
Awesome. I just have to give you your flowers for coming so prepared, which you always do, which I appreciate, giving us our notes in front of us. But you had mentioned that, and I lost my spot here, 1,300 meals per day, or over that even. How do you guys make that happen? That's a lot of meals. It's an unfathomable almost amount of meals in a day.
It is. So kudos to the kitchen. So we have quite the staff in the kitchen, and they it's a shift. So they start cooking at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then like my champagne, I'm over the champagne drivers.
Yeah.
Not over them, but they're my people that I sign up for.
Sure.
So I'm in close contact with them. But Andy, who takes all of our meals to Champaign County, he's on the road by 8:20, and he's dropping the meals off to them by 9:20.
Wow.
And so then the Bloomington drivers start coming in. And so we have a schedule that they all get on, and everybody comes in. We have this sealer. It's about as long as this table. And we have these little TV trays, it looks like. And so we have a line where people are putting food in the TV trays, We drop it in the sealer, and it runs down the sealer, and then the driver's on the other end, grabbing them, putting them in their bags, and lining them. And then each of the bags we put two heaters in to keep them hot, and then seal them up. And the drivers have to seal them up. So when you're driving, you have to unzip it, pull out your food, zip it back up, because we don't want that heat to get out. We got to keep it hot. So yeah, it's a little well-oiled machine that we just try to keep going.
Yeah, definitely. When you talk about those delivery drivers, what comes to mind is, almost like an Amazon driver or a UPS driver or something like that in a big hot truck and all this stuff. And, maybe they don't like their job that much, but it really seems like that's not the case for Piecemeal. Speak to that attitude and the willingness, from those drivers to be a part of this effort.
Yeah. So no, it's not a what Uber Eats.
Yeah, right.
So no, the drivers, you're picking up a piece of that's so important to us is social isolation. So there's a study done that social isolation is as dangerous as smoking 2 packs of cigarettes per day.
Whoa.
Yeah. Very dangerous for your health.
Yeah.
So the drivers make relationships, connections with those home delivered meal coordinators or home delivered meal drivers. And whenever I do referrals or not reassessments, the first thing they want to tell me is how much they love those drivers. They're just the sweetest people, and I look forward to them. And so it's really important that they connect with them for 2 or 3 things. One, social isolation, so they know someone cares about them, because our drivers do care about them.
Yeah.
If they have to get moved from a different route, they get real defensive. That's my person. That's my client. And we're like, yeah, but we've got to move people around. You're getting too many people. And then the other thing is they get to know their baseline. So I've had people call me and say, hey, I need you to check on so-and-so. They are not acting right. And so then I call them. We had one here in town. She was not with it. Like when you were talking to her, she seemed very confused. So I called the daughter and was like, hey, you might want to go check on your mom. And sure enough, she had a UTI and had to get to the hospital. And if you're not familiar with seniors, UTIs are very dangerous for them. They get very confused. And then recently, I had a driver on one of my high rises in Champaign. She knocks on the door, and the lady cries out, I need help. I need help. So luckily, we're in the apartment complexes. She finds the maintenance man. She gets in there. The lady's been down for hours.
Wow.
And so the driver calls the EMTs. She stays with her. And then she doesn't know that the driver's still there. And she's telling the EMTs, the nice Piecemeal lady saved me. And she stayed with me. And so, that really warmed our heart, because I have to do, that's part of my job, is do wellness checks.
Yeah.
And I called one lady one time, and she said, I've been down, but I knew you'd call me. I knew Piecemeal would call me.
Wow.
And then recently, one of our drivers couldn't get him to answer the door. I call him, doesn't answer the door. So I call his emergency contact. She goes there. She can't get in either. So she calls someone else to let her in. He's not awake. When he wakes up, very confused. Come to find out, his feeding tube has been leaking.
Wow.
And he had to go to the ER. He got hospitalized. But if the driver wouldn't have followed the protocol, who knows what would have happened to him.
Yeah. Shelly, you're about to make a grown man cry on the air right now. Man, those are some really impactful stories from those drivers. Wow. Yeah. And before we get too deep into the wellness checks aspect of it, I just had one more piece of this, just, the general scope of your service that I wanted to ask you about. And, with an average of 350,000 meals in a year, it wasn't always that, it wasn't always 300,000 meals in a year. Talk to me a little bit about that growth, not only in just the amount of meals you were able to serve, but in the growth of the staff as well.
Right. So sorry about that. When we were talking before we came on air, you asked how long I'd been here, and I've been with Piecemeal for 10 years. When I started, we used to have 2 kitchens. So there was a Bloomington kitchen and a Rantoul kitchen. And when I started, we average maybe 250 meals
Wow.
a day.
Yeah.
And then before we joined together, because Bloomington's always been the bigger side.
Yeah.
Because Bloomington normal is massive.
Sure.
Compared to the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but we had gotten it up to 450 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you add clients, you have to add staff, you have to train staff. It's very important that they know it's not a drop and go.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had drivers that will hang it on the door, and we're like, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
It's a wellness check. You have to have eyes on them.
Mm-hmm.
And once we explain some of those instances that I just told you about, then it hits home. Like, you are vital to their health. It's not just a drop and go.
Yeah.
You have to put eyes on them and know that they're okay.
Yeah, definitely. What do you attribute that growth to? Getting those clients to sign up. Is that, more come from a need, or does that come from a, hey, this seems like a cool program and maybe I could utilize it?
I think it comes more from a need.
Sure.
The boomers are coming into retirement.
Yeah.
Not so much retirement, but coming into that age where I need a little bit more help to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has drastically blown the numbers up. But also just, we want to put a good quality out there. The word of mouth,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, my driver takes such good care of me. I like this food,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the little towns. Well, usually if I get 1 or 2 people in the little towns, then I got 4 or 5 in that little town.
Yeah.
Because people talk.
Yeah.
And so, because we don't advertise.
Yeah. Right.
So it's just out there. And, Piecemeal has been around for 50 years.
Yeah.
It's been through different hands. Sarah Bush Lincoln still has the 7 lower counties.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we all came from, was Sarah Bush Lincoln. And we split the 7 top counties so it could have a little bit more hands on.
A little manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so it's just a matter of like making sure that when I get a referral in, we have 10 days to get that person contacted.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that we are being wise with our time.
Yeah.
And because like when I get done here, I'm going to go do referrals.
The work never stops.
Get some more people on. I know they'll be sending me referrals. I'm like, okay, that's enough for today. And then I'm like, hey, guess what? It's going to get turned right back around on you, because then the secretary then has to get them all into the system. And we have a new system that's helping us too with all this greater increase. We have something called Serve Tracker, which automatically routes for us, automatically bills for us. So we're still working the kinks out on that.
Sure.
But we're using that now.
Definitely. Shelly, I look at the clock. We are way overdue for a break. But first, where do people find out about Piecemeal? Yeah,
so you can just call our secretary, Nikki. And again, that number is 309-665-5900. We do have a website. You can just type in OSF Piecemeal, and it will take you to the site.
Awesome. Great. Again, that is Shelly Tolly with OSF Piecemeal, our guest in studio. More to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Introducing this year's Instinct Next Gen and N-Serve nitrogen stabilizers, featuring the same leading active as always. And now announcing nothing new, because our performance still leads every competitor.
Our nitrogen stabilizers aren't new. They're proven with thousands of field trials and decades of experience leading the competition. No gimmicks, no empty promises. Now that deserves some hype.
Go to Corteva.us/hype to learn more.
Hi, I'm Brandy Alsop. For the past 7 years, including 2.5 years as Chief Deputy County Clerk, I've proudly served the citizens of DeWitt County. I've worked on the front lines of our elections, served as the tax administrator, and managed our vital records. I understand the weight of this office, and accuracy and professionalism are essential. As your clerk and recorder, I will be a working clerk. I'm committed to protecting election integrity, improving customer service, and using your tax dollars responsibly. I'm ready to get to work for you. I'd appreciate your vote on March 17th.
Paid for by Brandy Alsop.
The Illinois Corn Checkoff is proud to support Illinois FFA, providing meaningful experiences to apply their agricultural education in ways that impact our industry. From meetings with high-ranking officials to the vehicles that get them from point A to point B, the Corn Checkoff is investing in our future. Learn more about our strategic work to grow the next generation at ilcorn.org. That's ilcorn.org.
Wellness starts with prevention. Book your annual appointment online today with SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln by clicking their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
It's the WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, we continue with my guest in studio, Shelly Tolly with OSF Piecemeal. And Shelly, in that first segment, we hit a little bit on the social isolation aspect of it. You had mentioned that social isolation for seniors can be as bad as smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
Let's expand on that a little bit and what Piecemeal is doing to help in that effort.
Right. So we partner with a lot of different organizations, a lot of different community centers. So, of course, the Friendship Center in town, amazing. One of the best places that we collaborate with. We also collaborate down in Monticello with the Livingston Center. And then up in Bloomington, we have a place called the Arc.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's called the Fitness Recreation Center for Seniors 55 and up. Now, remember, you do have to be 60 to get our food. But it's the hub for socialization and fitness. They have programming all day long there. And we also offer the salad bar there as well on Wednesdays. Salad bar is a big hit. And then the other thing about social isolation is, a lot of people, once they retire, they lose those work friends. Then when they lose their mobility, they lose their social friends. Like maybe they went to church, but they can't get to church anymore. Or maybe they had like a card group that they would go to, but they can't get there anymore. So it's really important that we think about how can we touch these lives?
Yeah.
How can we make sure that they feel that they still matter? And you would be surprised what a smile and saying someone's name does for a person's heart.
Yeah.
And it's not just a here you go and go. It's a how are you doing today, Miss Viola? And remembering what she said to you. So the next day, like, oh, my kids are gonna come over today. Hey, how was your visit with your kids yesterday?
Yeah.
Because people want to feel like they matter. And if you don't take the time to make them feel like that, then what are you doing this for? And I will say we have some of the best drivers for that fact because they really do care about their clients. It's like I told somebody, because I have about 500 clients, I'm like, it's like having 500 grandparents. It's amazing. And most of them are that nice little grandma that has the candy in her pocket.
Yeah, right.
Some of them are that crotchety grandpa, but most of them are the really sweet.
You still love them. Yeah. Something that you said there that was, it impacted me was the phrase touch their lives. I feel like coming into this interview, I had an idea of what Piecemeal is and all that, but doing this interview, I've kind of realized that it's not more of the service and less of the relationship. It's really equal, if not more of the relationship and making that impact. The impact is such an important part. I'm curious, we hit on that feedback that you get from the drivers and those at-home clients, but what kind of feedback do you get about the congregate sites?
Oh, yeah. The congregate people, I used to be a site supervisor. That was what I did first. And I used to say I get paid to socialize with grandparents, and it was amazing. So no, they love it. And then when I was a site supervisor, my daughter was 6 months old when I started. So she was 3 when I left. They just love being loved on. They love having that interaction. They love playing games. They are some serious about bingo.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't
get them on euchre, I'm sure.
Don't be chittering chattering when you're playing. We have to find out what that number is. And then they also just like, when you sit around the table, it's so important just to talk about your lives,
Mhm.
and it's so fun to hear about their stories because I can imagine what they look like in their youth.
Yeah.
Like when I go in and do assessments on people and they have their, their uniform on,
Yeah.
these people had amazing lives.
Mhm.
They still have amazing lives.
Of course.
People just don't take the time to listen to their lives.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, especially if you've been around them, they tell the same stories.
Yeah.
But it's important for them to tell those stories. They mean something to them.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's why the congregate sites are so important. So they can just sit around and talk and experience new friendships.
Yeah. Shelly, I'm so sorry, but we are out of time. Real quick, where's the best place for everyone to find out about Piecemeal?
Again, call Nikki 309-665-5900.
Awesome. Shelly, thanks so much for taking time for me today. Again, that is Shelly Tolly with OSF Piecemeal, and the WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. More to come ahead on the WHOW Morning Show.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington.